your most lucrative venture at its
No.
time? It wasn't.
Mm-mm. And this is the thing, what people don't understand. Your perception of success and what success actually is are two different things. When we got on MTV, the agent that I was with accepted some bullshit ass deal. We didn't know it was going to be what it was. It was like $5,000 an episode. I thought they were going to play my music videos, but obviously they didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But let me tell you how scandalous it got. They put us on at 11 o'clock at night. It starts blowing up. They start moving us forward. So now we're part of this, like, we're with Punk'd. We're,
prime time.
Yeah, it's prime time. It's MTV, right? So they kept me in this little box, even though the what made the show was built on my back.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
You made it popular.
Correct. I was not happy, you know what I'm saying, because I'm not able to tour. I'm not able to go out and do other things to, this is like a problem. They knew they were paying me shit. So they was like, okay, you can get 15% of all merchandise and things, like that you do, and they try to sweeten it, right? Mm-hmm. Fine print says 15% for with anything that includes your name and likeness. First season, you look at the box, my face is on it. Every season after that, it's just a car. And then, remember, if in the episodes, that'd be like, after, I'm Mr. X to the Z Xzibit, and then they would play one of my songs.
Yeah.
When they went to syndication around the planet, they edited my music out, so they didn't have to. Pay me. Yeah. You see this huge number that just goes all the way across the thing, then it gets down. Then your piece is like
that little bitty
$150.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't a good feeling, but what I was able to create from that was something special. It's up to you to fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? I could have been and crashed out and, and did all kinds of stuff and, and ruined it, which I'm pretty sure they prefer I would have did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to dismiss me at that point. Now, you didn't expect me to be able to pivot from that and still keep going.
All right, man. I seen this interview with Xzibit. I might play the sound before the clip. And he talked about how MTV gypped him with Pimp My Ride. Let's talk about it. You got the music entertainment playlist, and people don't be understanding how a lot of these entertainers be out here famous but broke. Remember the Migos had that song, I'd rather be rich than famous. They have a system that keep everybody broke in Hollywood to a certain extent. It's only a certain percentage who really got real paper. Most of them living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I always use this as an example. Travis Kelce said when he came into the league, he was running from his landlord because he didn't have the rent money. So even NFL players and NBA players live paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of y'all be looking like, how is that possible? They live above their means. You never had that money before. How do you think they know how to manage money? They don't. And when you factor in tricking on women and spending money and being in different cities, like, they have no chill. They think, okay, I can get it back or whatever. But Xzibit says that he only made $5,000. I think he said an episode on Pimp My Ride. And he said, kind of, to sweeten the pot a little bit as the show, it went from a 11 p.m. show to a primetime show because it got that popular. He said that they agreed to give him what he said 10% or 15% of all merchandise sales. And he said that after a while, they took his in the fine print. It said that his logo or his face had to be on the merchandise. And he says when they made that deal, his face and logo stopped being on the merchandise. So they gypped him. He said that show stops him from touring, making albums, making music. For $5,000 an episode, you got to think about it. If he out in Cali, really, this nigga was making about $2,000 an episode. So, I mean, it's very unfortunate, And he said you'll look down there and he had a check for $150. He said they wanted him to crash out. That's what they really wanted, was him to crash out and do the fool so they can just replace him. And they probably really wanted to replace him with somebody that looked like them. And MTV got a history of being racist. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't play any rap videos back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's unfortunate though. Like that's why Puff is in the position he is, because he just didn't want to pay nobody. You know, you made all that money off the show. What problem do they got with paying people, especially black people? Remember Smart Guy? He said they asked for Smart Guy was doing very, very well, and the cast, you know, said it was time for a raise. And, you know, Omar Gooden said, you know, they asked for a raise, and they just shut the show down. They just shut the show down. They was like, oh, man, y'all asked for, like, come on, man. So when we talk about, you know, you hear these people say there's no, you know, black, you know, oppression, or, oh, it's all in our mind. You know, it's not in our mind, bro. Systematic oppression is real. And he said he just parlayed that, or he pivoted that. He used that popularity to pivot in a different way. I just feel like that's sad. You had a show that y'all put at 11 o'clock to die. 11 p.m. y'all put that show on to die. It got so popular, and he had a lot to do with it. It moved to prime time, and then, you know, you didn't want to give them no rate. Like, what's the problem with them wanting to pay people? I don't really understand it. You got the money, then you give them a raw deal. Then he said, you know, when they syndicated around the world, they had his music. They made a deal also to put his music. They edited his music out. He said they wanted him to crash out so they can get rid of him and put somebody else in there. And the show, and they do that, and the show don't have no success. Look at Pop the Balloon Netflix. Look at it. They say Arletta and her husband are executive producers. Can you tell that they're executive producers? No. They take something they think they know what's best, which they people have no idea what's best, and they think they know what's best, and they destroy it. They do it all the time. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted Xzibit, like he said, they wanted Xzibit to crash out. They wanted him to crash out so they can go put somebody else in there, and it wasn't going to be the same. It wasn't going to be as good. And my people are just such forgiving people. But nobody reciprocates that forgiveness to black people. In abundance or in large masses, they don't reciprocate that forgiveness. That's when I say, when you have these people who be raccooning and buffooning on the internet, oh, you know, I hate people that say, or black people can't be racist. Man, bro, if we were racist, we couldn't live amongst the oppressors like everything is okay. Y'all do understand that, you know, you can be a bigot, and I don't believe most black people are bigots. How are we racist and we live amongst the oppressors? Now, one thing I will disarm is the notion that Brad, you know, made us hate each other. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go back to the continent of Africa, just to kick some game, if you go back to the continent's biggest issue is that it's made up of a bunch of countries. That's the biggest issue about the continent. That's why if Africa was one country, Africa would continue to dominate the world. You have to understand, they enslaved other countries in Africa. So when they enslaved other people in Africa, a lot of those enslaved tribes they would enslave, they would sell them to the colonizers, to the pilgrims. So Africa has had, you know, self-hatred and self-beef, you know, forever. There you have it. So it's not a fact that it's just embedded in our DNA and our blood, for whatever reason it is. But damn. And that's why MTV falling off now. Watch that shit. This is why a lot of our parents had an issue with MTV too, because they refused. I think Michael Jackson was the first black artist that they paid. It's funny how when they get in the jam, they like to fuck with us. Am I lying? I'm not lying. When they get in the jam, they love to fuck with us. Don't forget, in the Super Bowl, you know, Living Color was kicking their ass. Who did they go get to take the spotlight from Living Color? Michael Jackson. So that's all I had to say, man. Appreciate y'all. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe button, hit the bell icon button. Hit the music entertainment playlist, hit the link tree, peace.